What's up, guys? How's it going? We're back with another video, and I want to say Pasadena Regionals is coming up in a few weeks, and I'm very excited. So I want to talk about some things in the community and at Jazzco Games that have been making things very hard. I don't want to make this a personal video in any stretch of the imagination. This is not a shout out or call out or shots fired video or disrespectful or rant or anything like that. This is just some things I want to point out for players and for Jazzco and the community overall, the company, the players, etc. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that. Anyway, I want to say these things because there are things. This isn't coming from me, this is coming from other people, and I've been asked to voice it, right? So, what do I want to talk about? I want to talk about some things. Like I said, Pasadena's coming up. We've had a lot of interesting tournaments, a lot of interesting cards and reveals, and I want to say, this is all awesome. There's been a lot going on. I'm excited for the 5th set. What I'm not excited about is how this game is dead in Los Angeles. And I don't want to say like that, like such a harsh topic, but it is like, I love seeing these articles. These articles are great. I wish that Jazzco Games would do these in video format. Like, I would love to see some people at Jazzco Games. There are very specific people that I would like to see talk about these decks. Like the guy who did a deck before, I think he covered, I don't remember his name because I'm on the spot, but he works at Jazzco Games and he covered one of the Bakugo decks, which kind of helped me understand how I'm playing the game now. I would like to see him cover that, and how to upgrade that deck to the way he did for his deck in a Gunslinger. But there are some growing issues. I've been covering this game on TikTok for a long time now. I'm making videos for about a year on and off. I don't want to be the Debbie Downer of the community because I love the game. I really do. I love the format of the game. I love how it's structured. And that's what drew me to the game. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting, but there are some things that are glaring, which are causing issues for this game moving forward into the future. And I don't want to sound too negative, but they are growing concerns. And as being a person who's the person keeping everything afloat in Los Angeles, I'm not trying to say like I'm some type of mob boss or something, but I'm really passionate about this game and keeping it going. And the whole reason I got into this game was to play other people, to have fun, to enjoy the game. But some things, when it comes to these bans and erratas and the messages, the words that are being used inside of these articles convey, are very scary and they're very serious. I'm not going to get into a long spiel about it, but just I want to cover like some things about these 3 topics that they brought up, because these 3 topics are very concerning, and this is the reason why growing the game in Los Angeles has been a huge failure. What is this first sentence? Like, what is this? What is the gameplay pattern that you're trying to foster for the My Hero Academia collectible card game? And beyond that, not just saying this format, this IP, for universes overall. What is the play pattern for universes? When this is no longer My Hero Academia and it's something else like Diablo or Street Fighter 6 or something League of Legends or Summoner War or something else that's popular, or another popular anime like Jujutsu Kaisen or something like that. If another IP takes over, is this still going to be a problem? Every card game bans cards. They have their own balances, they have their own issues. But the main issue are these 3 topics that I was talking about. So what is universes? That's the biggest question. What is universes? Is it for casuals or is it for competitives? In the Ojiro post, going back to that, they talked about how they had to do these adjustments because of certain reasons, right? So those certain reasons were laid out to be that the game wasn't fun. Like in this paragraph, games were going too fast. People considered it unfun. They didn't get to do anything. They didn't get to play their game. And that would be great in a casual mindset. In a casual mindset, I would be totally ticked off if someone FTK'd me. That's a first turn kill, by the way. If someone FTK'd me in a casual game and I never even got to like fight back, I'd be heated. So I understand that. But in a competitive mindset, at a regionals, at a nationals, at a world tournament, I shouldn't see complaining about games ending too quickly and killing someone's experience. That sounds weird. That really sounds weird. If you stepped up to the plate at a professional level and someone just completely swept you under the rug because they're more experienced, they're stronger, they have a stronger strategy, that's competitive, right? Like, people are playing at the highest level to achieve their goals. So that's what should happen? Question mark? That's a growing concern for people in Los Angeles. This game is not for competitive players. The UFS players, the Universal Fighting System players, have made that very clear, and they do not support this game. They will play with you if you have a My Hero format deck, but their mindset is, this is not a game. This is not a real game. It does not support real competitive players. They come from an era where this game used to represent competition, excitement, intensity, just like the video games that the IPs were based off of. So where is Universes going now, being the owners, the new Jazzco Games? Where are they going with this? What is the identity of the game? Because if people feel bad at regionals for losing too fast or for not getting a chance to experience, or demonstrate their deck, well, that's just the competitive scene. That's how it is. You don't, as a kid, go to play in the NBA because you've got skills at an elementary level. No, you're not ready for the pros. The pros are on a whole nother level than what you've been handling. That's the pro circuit. So when it gets to this article talking about the professional gameplay assessment, what is considered professional to Universes? And that's something that I really want them to express. Like, I hope they do another article. Jazzco Games, I know you're watching this, whoever's watching this, team members, people who are in higher positions. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to do any call outs or anything like that. This is not that kind of video. But I would love for you guys to talk about, what is this game? Is it for casuals? Is it for competitives? Is it somewhere in between, like a pro-am? What are the restrictions for playing this game? How long are you allowed to win the game? Because if winning by turn 2, turn 3 in the Ojiro argument, if you're winning too fast and that's a bad thing, that's negative, that decks move too fast, that the length of the game is too quick in a professional setting, in a competitive setting, why is that? Does there need to be another format for casuals? Is that something that needs to be enforced? Is that something that needs to be talked about? If we can't build decks that win within the first 2 turns, the first 2 attack turns, I'm talking about, not like the actual first turn where you're setting up your foundations. If you're winning the game within your first 2 turns and that's a bad thing, why is that a bad thing? That needs to be explained. Why is it that games take too long? Why is it the games take 1 hour and 10 minutes for one game and not even the whole round? Not best out of 3. We're just talking about the very first game of the round, when 1 hour and 10 minutes went into time in the round. Why is it taking so long? What is it that you guys want us to do? How is it that we're allowed to build decks? Because if I build a consistently powerful deck that's fine-tuned to the highest degree, that plays at the maximum capacity it can play at, and it gets banned for it, like Sue, Tokoyami, Ojiro, who get punished for being consistent and powerful, then what are the restrictions to your game, right? So another thing to talk about, this key components thing. You're saying that staples are bad. Why are staples bad? I remember Tim, and he's the only person I'm going to name because actually he's the one who talked about this. Tim was in a podcast where he talked about designing the game and how he wanted the rarity to not be the prize point, right? So if rare is your cap, right? Let's say, because rare technically is the strong card. That's what he said in that podcast. Your commons, your uncommons are your foundation of the deck. You know, that's where you get your foundation cards, your staples, what makes the deck work. Then your rares are your power cards, right? Rares. One with nature is a rare. Back alley haymaker is a rare. So that's where your power is. That's your soft cap for your power level. Then your ultra rares are your flashy finishers. That's what he said. So if your ultra rares are like your flashy finishers, your rares are your power, your bulk power cards, right? What you're building for essentially, then the power scaling of the game has been brought down. Unlike other games where they have common, uncommon, rare, ultra rare, mythic rare, or whatever version of secret, mythic, whatever legendary card that they have, you have to meet those standards. They all have their rules and guidelines, but since you're shrinking it, then rare is at the cap. So why is a rare card being punished? Why are all rare cards being called out to be? If you notice, looking back, most of the cards that have been banned and hit are rare cards. Why is that? From an outside aesthetic, people who aren't familiar with this universe's game, with what the design team has come out with, they wouldn't understand why a rare card is being banned versus an ultra rare card or an SR. You know, they're looking at it, they're like, it's rare. Why are people screaming about a rare? And then when you explain the power scaling, they're like, oh, but it doesn't do that much compared to other card games. So it's like there needs to be a conversation comparison, right? The other thing I want to talk about is overly represented cards. These cards are designed greatly. Like they are stupendous. They reflect the elements that they're in, and they're very balanced. In my expertise, they're very balanced in meshing those elements together. Wizards of the Coast still can't figure that out till this day. They have created their own color pie system based on the identity of what colors do and how they're supposed to work, and even they still don't make it work. So for the fact that the universes or UFS game designers, because I know one with nature was in Mega Man, for their game design team to find a way to blend three elements together with those characteristics, those traits, those restrictions all into one card is amazing. Like, I hands down applaud them for that, because it's not easy to do in other card games. But why is this considered a bad card? Which is why this video is being made. Why is this considered a bad card? Why are all the cards that have been banned? Why are all the cards that have been eroded? And it's not to say that they don't give explanations, because they do. But the thing is, what is the identity of the game? Here in Los Angeles, we play to win. Even if we're casual, we play to win. So we want to play at the best. But when we try to build at our best, I had an Ojiro deck when it came out. I dismantled it before it got banned because I didn't like it. It wasn't consistent enough for me. And for other people, they were like, it's super consistent. It wins. It's so powerful. Volaan, how do you not like it? Because it's not consistent. I don't like a deck that's focused on student of the art, for example. You know, like if I need that one card to make it work and that card never gets on the field and I have to do this the long, slow way, it's not for me. I want more consistency. But this was really consistent and people complained about it. People hated it because they said it just didn't allow them to play the game on a professional level. They didn't get to play their cards. They didn't get to be a part of the experience. And I understand that. That happens. People get swept in the NBA and the NFL, NHL, all the professional sporting leagues, even in fighting games on a professional level. Sometimes you think you're ready, you go in there and you get swept under the rug and people get perfects on you. And you get angry, you get salty, you're like, that's not what I came here for, but that's a part of the competition. So if that's going to happen and that's frowned upon for people being good, how are we supposed to get more people into the game? How are in certain areas, because it's not just Los Angeles, I want to be clear. In Australia, there are people in their community leaders that I've had talks with who have said the same thing. In the UK and the EU, I've had talks with their people about the same thing. And in Oceanica, same thing. They can't retain players because of decisions like this. And it's not that it's bad. You have to balance your game. All games balance their game. But what are the guidelines? With other card games, they explain what is a good card, what makes it a good card, what makes a card overpowered, what makes a card too strong, and why they have to restrict it, right? So if they have certain guidelines that say this is too much, then it's too much. But they have some type of limitation. They make it like, in this game, this should be a unique card. It honestly should. Instead of banning it, I would make it unique. How do you make it unique without errataing it? You just make a limited to semi-limited ban list. One with nature is at one card. You can only play one of it in your deck. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. And I know someone's going to immediately say, watching this video, but then it becomes a race for who can get it out the fastest. It's going to be Earth or Good or Chaos versus, mirror matches. And it's just going to be a race to who can get that card on the field the fastest so they can win. Well, isn't the point to win? Question mark? I mean, aren't you here to win? Aren't you playing in a tournament to win? Some people don't play to win. That's okay. If you're playing just to get the free stuff, the promos, the rewards, to sell them or collect them or keep them, hey, that's you. Do you. Have fun. Enjoy what you want. Get your free stuff. But for those of us that want to win at the highest level, why is that bad? Why is it so bad to win? And this comes from the community, and Jazzco Games reflects that mentality. So if the company is reflecting the views of the community, in the community, there needs to be a discussion amongst the separation between casual and professional. Or if they're going to be blended into a pro-amateur league, which is what pro-am is called. If pro-am, pro-amateur is going to be blended into one, then there probably needs to be a separate tournament circuit. As a short answer, I'm not trying to belittle anybody or exclude anybody, but what happens when the people who want to play consistently powerful decks, who want to play at the highest level, get pushed out? Where do they go? They go to other card games that reward them for playing at their best, not who shun them and kick them out for playing at their best. If this game is going to kick out people for playing at their best, then something needs to change. Otherwise, it's never going to grow, which is why it hasn't grown in Los Angeles. In fact, it's diminished in Los Angeles. Here in Los Angeles, we used to have over 30 players. I have them all counted. I know their names. We used to have 30 active players in Los Angeles. Now we have 12. Now we have 12 active players in Los Angeles, because I forgot I'm not allowed to play technically. So minus me, because I've been banned from my community, I'm not allowed to play because my decks are too powerful and they're considered not fun because they're aggro decks and they're consistent and they're really powerful and they do what they're supposed to do. I'm not allowed to play. So we have 12 active players in our community. How can we grow more players? How can we, get other people involved in this card game and show them that, hey, it's fun, it's creative, it's exciting, it's intense? If the fun, intense, exciting stuff gets removed, The combos get removed. The strategies get removed. Everyone in the meta is playing mid-range. That's boring. And I'm sorry, it is. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying you're boring as a person. I'm just saying everybody's playing the same thing. Everyone's playing a mid-range game. Is Universes a mid-range card game? Is it only for mid-range players? If so, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no bad answers here. We just need to know what your game is so we can know what box we need to fit in to play it successfully. And it doesn't take a lot of, back and forth to really decide that. You guys as a community in the My Hero community, in Universes, what do you feel is best a game should end? Should it end in 15 minutes or an hour and 10 minutes? Should it end in 30 minutes or 45 minutes? Should it end in 50 minutes max for 3 games? Or should one game go for an hour? It's best out of 3 in a tournament. So shouldn't I get all 3 games in within an hour's time? That sounds reasonable. Should someone be able to win comfortably with a good strategy by turn 3? Is that okay? Is that bad? Question mark? Every game has taboos. You have to be upfront about your taboos. If you don't want people doing a certain effect, like in Magic the Gathering, I'll give you an example. Destroying lands is taboo. You destroy someone's lands, that's disrespectful. What is disrespectful in this game? You have to let people know, right? Is the water strategy of card pool stuffing disrespectful and that's why no one plays it? That's something to talk about. Is destroying foundations disrespectful? Is beating someone by their first attack turn disrespectful? Those are things that need to be talked about, amongst the community and amongst the people who make the card game. They need to talk about that as well. Because what does that mean for them, and how are they going to make money off this game? How are they going to market this game? How are they going to grow this game if they don't tell us what's good and what's bad? They are in these articles, but these articles are scary, man. They're really scary. These are some scary things. Like when you really read this article for what it is, face value, no disrespect to whoever Bill Stark is. When you read this article, it tells you, do not win at our game. Do not play it professionally. Do not play it competitively. Do not build powerful decks. Do not build your best. We don't want to see your best. We want to see you have fun. We don't want to see you have fun dominating the circuit. That's not what our game is about. That's literally what this game is telling. That's what this article is telling you. Don't have staples. Don't have powerful cards. Don't make things stand out. Don't build too strong, but also don't build too weak? Question mark? And then from this article about Ojiro, it's like, don't be so consistent. Don't play at your best. Don't make things too strong. Don't point out issues that we're working on. Every card game has issues with power levels and combos and stuff that they didn't know would work together, right? There are only so many people who can come up with so many ideas and different ways to play card games. And when it's released into the masses, people come up with stuff. They read cards, they read sentences, their brain ticks and the wheels start turning and they find things that the design team was like, oh, we didn't know that was possible. But we do now. And maybe we might need to stop this. So let us know what is something that is bad. In Yu-Gi-Oh! With Konami, they literally have a rule where it says if you go into an infinite combo, you automatically lose because you have broken the game and the game was not designed to go infinite. So if you create an infinite loop of any kind, you automatically lose. That is a hard cap. That is do not pass go, right? What is do not pass go in Universes? I don't want to say My Hero because this is just an IP. They could switch to another IP. But if even moving forward, what is do not pass go? Right? What is going too far? What is going not far enough? These are things that need to be expressed. And once those things are expressed, we can start to get more players involved in this card game, because then the guidelines will be laid out. If you want us to play in a box, tell us how big the box is, how much square footage is it, what color is it, right? What does it smell like? Is the grass greener over there? Is the sun brighter? Is it always raining? Do we have obelisk? I'm kind of just running off, but what does your box look like at Jazzco Games? What is the limitations? What is the floor and what is the sky, right? What is the ground and what is space in your game? So that way we can know how to play within those restrictions, and then start to figure out how to play at our best. Because then if you know where the ceiling is, do not pass go. When you build a deck, you know, okay, let me not put that card in because that's going overboard, right? Let me not play this strategy. That's going overboard, right? This deck is a bit too much. That's going overboard, right? You can tell that from conception when you start building a deck. If you don't have any guidelines, you don't know what's restricting. So you just build something and you're like, yeah, look at me, man. I came up with this great idea. Look at this combo. It's sick, right? And then they're like, nah, you're doing too much. Ban it. You're a toxic player. We don't want people like you in our game. And it's like, whoa, I was just having fun playing your card game. Now I'm a bad guy? You definitely don't want that. That's not what we want, right? We don't want to be alienating people for being creative, right? But we do want to have restrictions to where the game is still fun, right? The game is still competitive. The game is still played at a high level and played amongst casuals and collectors, like all other card games. Literally, like all other card games. So sorry to lay it out like that. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just being real. You know, like, it's been a tough time growing this game in Los Angeles for these reasons specifically. All of these reasons. I'm not lying to you. I have tons of feedback and reports. Where does this game sit? You know, how do I get good at this game without being so good that I get banned? Where is the cutoff point? Where is the starting point? Right? I would like to see the powers that be talk about this in one of these articles, but mostly I would love to see them talk about these things in a video. Not on Twitch, on YouTube, a recorded video where they're laying out the guidelines with examples. I don't want to see the presidents and CEOs and all that stuff. No. The design team. I would love to see the actual design team and the rules committee talk about these things and have that dialogue with each other for everyone else. This is something that other card games actually do. They have these events where, you know, people who are the heads of departments will talk to the masses about, hey, this is what's doing too much. This is where we made a mistake on creating this card. We didn't think it would go this far, you know, or we had this card on in our eyes because we know it could go off, but we were waiting for the public to figure it out so we could put a stop to it. Or if they never figured it out, then we wouldn't have to ban it, right? Like, other card games do that. I would love to see Jazzco do that because they're really involved with the community. You know, they're very involved in what people say, what people think. They love having discussions, but I would love to see them lay out the rules, lay out the guidelines, lay out the restrictions, communicate with us, tell us, you know, what's going on. So I don't want to make this video too long. That's the gist of it. That's why we haven't been able to grow in Los Angeles. That's why we've been losing players, even our players who started playing the game. Players who've been playing since UFS. I can't speak on the IE and Riverside and North Cal, Mid Cal, San Diego, because there's a community down there in San Diego. But here in Los Angeles, and what I've heard from the other countries through my TikTok videos, when I talk about these things and I express my feelings about what's going on in the community and in the card game, they're echoing the same thing. So I know it's not just me, because they're saying the exact same problems with player retention, people only playing online, losing players to other card games because they don't feel rewarded, etc. There are a lot of things that are going on where I wish someone would talk about it. It's not saying that they have to make changes overnight. No one's asking for that. No one's not saying, hey, by tomorrow I expect this to be done. But I would love to just get their input on things, because that helps my perspective moving forward. That helps everyone else grow the game when they know these are the confines we're allowed to work with. Let's make the most of it, right? We enjoy your game, we enjoy your product, but we want to know how to enjoy it the right way, right? So it's up to you guys. It's up to you. I'm saying this because I'm representing some people who asked me to say this. I hope to see you guys at Pasadena Regionals. I really do. I will be there playing my busted decks that are not allowed to be played at the best level, and there's a reason why I'm not allowed to play them. I've been told by Jasco Games themselves that I'm not allowed to play my decks because they will get banned because they're toxic. But what is toxic? Anyway, if you see me, give a holler, say hi. If you want a hug, I'm always down for hugs. But yeah, I hope to see you guys at Pasadena Regionals. Cam, Tyrell, I want to play you guys one-on-one, my best deck versus your best decks. That's the only shots I'm firing out here. If they're going to be there, I want to play them. I didn't get to play them last year, and I really wanted to play them. Levi, I want to play you too, man. I want to play your Racerhead deck. I want to see it in action. So those are the only shots I'm firing. I'm firing 3 shots. All right. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy your time, and I hope you guys enjoy the new updates and expansions to this card game. I hope you guys are going to be at Pasadena RLE. Hope to see you guys there. If not, I'll catch you in the next video. All right. Peace.